Hello and welcome back to Farm Sim 22 with Maypole. And we got straw to pick up, huh? Maybe turn that up a bit so we can actually hear. I've been struggling lately trying to get back into Farm Sim. Really have been struggling. In my mind, I wanted to play it, but every time I've launched the game and how to do something, it's like, yeah, I just don't feel it. So I had to switch it off and find something else to do now. That was fine until it started affecting my schedule on working on the map as well. Which theoretically I was ahead of schedule initially. You might find stutters. I haven't, like I said, I haven't played the game in a while. So the cache and everything's got to build up and whatnot. Anyway, so I hadn't given myself an initial release date for the new map, but I had given myself a time frame as to roughly when I wanted to be able to sit back and go, yeah, I can take a couple of weeks off and relax. I should be at that point by then, and then come back, finish off the final bits, and then start testing it privately before it and fixing anything that needs to be fixed before sending it into Giants. I'm miles behind that schedule. The I've got 34 fields done. I've got 2 farms completely laid out. I'm miles away from anything being come in a ready to showcase to any kind of way. Kind of annoying, really, but unfortunately, sometimes you have to dig deep. And I'm currently trying to dig deep to push myself to get back into Farm Sim, so I can get back to work, because I feel like I'm on a total burnout at the moment. And I've noticed more the last year when it came to making a map, and this year that I burn out a lot quicker than I used to. At one time I was constantly in the editor. I was never out of it. Now that seems to be more of a chore than fun. And that's scary, because I thoroughly enjoy tinkering around in the editor, and now I'm finding it less fun, and I'm wondering, is my time for map making starting to come to an end? My enjoyment from it really starting to end? Or am I just in that mental block at the moment and just need to stay out of the editor? And but then, so my hope is, by playing the game, not necessarily working in the editor, but by playing the game, I can find that love again and go back into the editor, but there's no way I'm going to go back into the editor, start working on the map if my mind's not with it, because it just won't turn out how I want it, and I'll end up just scrapping the whole project that I've got going on when I do come to my senses and start enjoying everything again. And so now my schedule has had to be pushed further and deeper into the year, and I can't put a complete schedule onto it because I don't know how long it'll take for this phase to, or not phase, but this moment just to subside and everything to fall back into place. We'll see. No, I'm not right now. Rather than just launching the game and playing it like you would, I decided, well, I'll do a private stream and get my enjoyment there, because obviously this series was part of my challenge series, and that was 3 months ago when I started this. Apparently, I don't know when it went live, but it was 3 months ago when I actually initially recorded the first, or privately streamed the first episode. And there was meant to be a farm sim video each week. The initial idea was that I was going to do Maypole one day and then Riverview the next. And well, so I'm going to push myself this week to try and get the love back for farm sim, and then hopefully within a week or two of that happening, where I'm not actually in the editor, just playing the game, my mind will switch, and and I'll be thinking, right, I need to get back to work, and then I need to also start taking time away, not just focusing solely on making a map. So maybe having certain days where I work on the map and other days where I don't do anything in the editor whatsoever, just to keep things fresh. Because when I go sitting with a map, that's my thing. Until it's done, that's my thing, and that's not healthy. Certainly not healthy. But good news is I'm feeling relaxed right now. I'm not feeling like I want to turn the game off. Then again, who doesn't like picking up straw? And I love dairy farming, and well, we need all this for the dairies, or the dairy cows that we will eventually be buying in. And we've got a few fields of straw to pick up, not to mention that we've got to do silage yet, and we need to be working on that, because I want to have silage ready to go next year that I can start putting in to the robot feeder. And I also want to then be able to focus on hay and start getting that in for next year. And there's no way in hell I'm going to fill this robot feeder, all its compartments, sorry, for a while. because these sheds are set up to hold a lot of produce because of Maize Plus. Not that I use Maize Plus, but people was using Maize Plus, and well, I will keep you all updated as soon as my mind switches and I can go back into the editor. I will let you guys know, and as soon as I have something that I can feel is ready for showing, then I will I'll put it out there on a video and you guys can watch along and see the new project, or the final project for 22. I'm, regardless of what happens now, this will be it. The new map that I'm working on will be the final map of 22. And let's face it, I've made one whole new map for 22. I've ported over 2 maps from 19. And I'm working on a new map for 22. I mean, it's 4 maps. 2 brand new maps and 2 ports. Even though it's still a lot of work. A lot of hours. I think I've been pushing myself because I felt I had to. And putting pressure on myself, that isn't good. I need to not do that. Watching Virtual Farmer streaming the other day, and he was on about that you would never ask a map maker or a modder in general when their mod was due out what their schedule was, and because no modder likes to be asked that question because it puts pressure on that person. I completely agree, and I've been putting that pressure on myself. Wow. +4 on the evening or on the afternoon. Hopefully, though, you guys are having fun doing whatever you're doing. I know I haven't been around much. I apologise for that. When I go through that phase, I literally just stay away from Farm Sim altogether and all streams and videos. Anything to do with Farm Sim, I normally just completely avoid. And it's only been the past couple of 3 or 4 weeks that I've really 3 weeks that I've actually started reaching out again. Slowly. Anyway, enough about all of that. That's depressing, right? Let's talk about our plans. new mod, as you can see. Now we've got how many year, or what year we're in, and the temperature. Not that the temperature really makes a difference in seasons in this game, unfortunately. Wish it did. That'd be much better. I mean, even though just because you can plant your crop, if the temperature isn't right, then you ain't going to be planting your crop. The one mod that was removed was the def mod, because it was causing issues with lure errors, so that had to go. That's the only mod that's been removed. A few mods have been added, mostly them kind of storage sheds for bales and objects. I like to have a mix of sheds, and I'll find one like maybe there'll be a smallish one I can stick somewhere then, you know, and then somewhere where I've got a lot of space I might want to put a bigger one. But the good news is I've also started playing Stranded Alien Dawn because of a new update that came out, which added trading, or you set up a trade outpost on a planet, and the goal is to buy the planet kind of thing, which is interesting. You want to buy a whole planet. Like, kind of scary when you think about it. You're going to buy a planet, but yeah, that's the end goal. But the concept of being able to get rid of your goods that you don't need because you got too much of it, that thrilled me even more. It makes you wanna, oh yeah, well, I don't need the resources off this crop, but I can grow it and then utilize it for something else, and then wrap it up in a nice parcel and send it off as a trade good. You know, that is interesting to me. And then also you can trade in, bring in stuff that you do need, that you might be short of. Maybe there's a nice weapon that comes up, and rather than make it, you want to buy it in, or CPUs or something that you're a little short on. So it just expands on what you can potentially do. I'm only in the early stages on that. I haven't even set up a home yet. I did try it on hard though, or well, extreme. And, yeah, that didn't go so well. I was also out of practice with the game. Well, we'll definitely have to come back and get another load in a bit. We ain't going to get... We won't get all of this in the final half. So, half full, and, well, over half full now. So if you're wondering why do a stream now, or a private stream now, when I'm practically tired? Part of me wanted to do kind of this for the last couple of days. I've been switching the game off and on, and then immediately, you know, virtually switching it straight back off. So I know I'm getting there, but by doing the private stream, keeps my mind focused. Theoretically, I should have done it as an actual full-on stream. Then I wouldn't keep talking about it. So, we will talk about the upcoming changes to Maypole. That's currently awaiting Giants testing. As you know, you start off with a combine. You start off with 3 arable fields, which you'll have seen when we first started this challenge. This one and the one that we just picked up all the straw from are 2 of the fields that you start off with. The other one is down the little the lane coming into your farm. The other change, which is not save game compatible, which we will find, I'll show you that it's not save game compatible, is the more interesting one. Maybe I should have made it as a placeable and then you could remove it that way. Then it still wouldn't have been save game compatible. And I don't know where that particular thing will be. So it could be floating in the air, it could be miles underground, it could be anywhere. Good news is I don't see it just yet. That's the good news. Now, because we're going to skip the night, we'll go and have a little drive down there. But knowing this, we'll take we still have it, don't we, the pickup? We'll take the pickup down there. We'll take this back to the back to here. I'll just park it here a minute. What have we got in there at the moment? Yeah, as you can see, not even made a dent. That shed, that place holds a lot. You could fill that up and that still wouldn't be enough to fill one of them up. You could fill it up with old straw bales and you still wouldn't have enough straw in there to fill it up. And we've got 2 of them. We'll see where this is. We should go out to cab for this, or out to cab, in case it suddenly pops up somewhere. I'm hoping that it hasn't or won't break your save game. Oh, mine's still there. Okay. That's interesting. That is very interesting, although the island isn't there. That's even funnier. There's no island there. The water's there. Which is fine, so it means that it's not necessarily save game, not save game compatible, but the trees floating will be. So that light over there, you cut that, this lake will disappear, that boat over there will disappear. Hmm. To fix that, you'd have to update the terrain heights map, and then you'd have the little island with all them trees sitting on it, but without it, yeah, you'd have to delete the trees. But you can still fill up from here with water. If you don't want the water, you can kill the light, get rid of the water. We're not going to do that. I'll show you that in another video, in another save game, where you can actually see the island. I had originally put water plants and everything over here. I didn't like the way it looked, and I couldn't get it to look how I wanted it to look, so I was like, yeah, forget it. That's, well, I'm not too worried about that though. The trees over there, I can easily fix that in my save game. Console players, unfortunately, can't fix that. But it just means that you can customize the map even more. It's a minor little change, but I was sitting here one day going, well, you know what, I've given you the option to cut away houses and use that land for something else, but then I've given you the option to also buy the lake, which if you don't want the lake, you just bring the land above the height of the water, and yeah, you're all good. But what if you want to build something there and the water doesn't allow you, even though it's below ground? What if it plays, it has issues? So it's like, let's make it so you can cut it away, remove it altogether, and then you don't have to. We was meant to take a left there, right there. And we can take a right here. Plenty of room. Could we? No, actually, I think we can get another load before we need to worry about it getting too dark. I was contemplating on putting the mod that means that you have to stay in cab all the time. And that, but then I remembered how annoying that can be if I decide to do a live stream. People don't want to just see constantly in cab. You know, for certain jobs, I prefer to be in cab. Baling being one of them. Picking up straw with a forage wagon. Just easier when you're in cab. I know when you're not in cab, you can see where you've missed, if you've missed any. I'm not too fussed if I've missed little bits here and there. I mean, in real life, you don't get every single little bit. It's all about the fun at the end of the day, right? And I'm because I didn't watch or pay attention to videos that were coming out for FS19 or the end of FS19's life, or 17's life, sorry, 19's life. You know, after a year, another thing that Virtual Farm had brought up, how after a year of FS17 coming out, people were talking about, you know, speculating on what was going to be in FS19. And then when FS19 come out, a year after its life, people were speculating what FS21 would be bringing to the game, to the franchise. I didn't watch any of them videos. I've never watched anything like that. You know, I've always avoided the speculation. I've always just gone with, let's watch the blog or read the blog even, and see what Giants have announced, see if we can try and get an idea of for myself rather than other people's inputs on what might be coming. And we've been, and Virtual Farm had said that Giants announced that they was going to not be released in FS21 at that point. So he said overnight all of them videos just stopped. No more speculation. It was all on to people enjoying making videos on what they was doing rather than what they was hoping for and all that kind of stuff. And we're rapidly finding ourselves coming up to where is there going to be an FS24 or is it going to be FS25? Now I'm all for FS25. I'd rather them do every 3 years. And look what they accomplished with this game in 3 years compared to what they may have had they not had they released after 2 years. You think about it, FS19 we was meant to have manual gears and all that, but it wasn't ready, so they released it for 22. Now, how many features wasn't going to be ready for 21 at that point? That would have had to be we'd have had to wait until FS24. So I'm all for them having to, or leaving it an extra year. It gives them a lot more time to get things done. I mean, they can also take a bit more of a break from making the next game and the next map or maps and all that, and just enjoy what they've already accomplished before they have to start focusing on the next game. And obviously the DLCs that they're releasing, but you know, making a whole game is not as complicated as is much more complicated than the DLCs are. A lot more work goes into them. Here we go, final field, and then we've got to come in here and sort these fields out as well. We don't have to rush to do that particularly. Not just yet, anyway. That's the downside of being a dairy farmer, is there's a lot of work to be done. But once you get into the swing of it, it's like being a pig farmer. There's a lot of work involved there. You gotta get all the different crops in, and yeah, technically I could just feed the cows hay and be done with it, technically, but I don't want to do that just yet. See, I was contemplating on scrapping this series altogether and doing a start from scratch where there are no farms or anything on in here. But I think I'll just play it how I've got it set up right now for this series. What I like about this field is you've got a bit more room over the side, so you can come in here and make this field a little bit bigger. You haven't got let's stick to this size. Now when it comes to taking trees down, that's when the fun will begin. I'm not a big fan of forestry, so and some of you will notice that in certain areas there are a few more trees. One of the things that one of the testers pointed out was, since taking a lot of the trees out, the map doesn't feel like it did. It's lost some of its flavour for them. So some of the trees have made a reintroduction. Mostly over in that general direction. Others in other places as well. Wrong button. Oh, did I stop it from emptying? My bad. There we go. but I've modified a mod to allow for increased amount of stuff in the store sales, so you get a bit more that will show up, and not anything that we particularly want right now. So yeah. Point where we're going to start needing lights on soon. We'll put them on now, may as well. And I won't forget. But I said to Virtual Farmer I would like to see soil compaction being a thing. Because you wouldn't just drive all over your fields then. I'd like it to become a thing, and if you drive over any fields, it knocks, wherever you've driven, it knocks the growth stage back one. Unless it's your own fields, then it'll kill the crop. But also, as Virtual Farmer said, they need to be toggleable options, so not, you know, what we want isn't necessarily what everybody wants, so being able to turn features on and off needs to be a thing. The option that rather than going in and ploughing the whole field, you might only need to plough the edge of the field, would just make a bit more, add a bit more realism to farming. We'll go this way instead of missing one and, you know, doing it that way, because that was rather going to be a rather very tight swing to go onto that line to the left of us, or that row. We have a row on the outside as well that theoretically we should focus on trying to pick up. So when we come back in, we should start over there and get rid of that row. Because we're definitely going to be full, like, now. A little bit there to pick up. Okay. Spewer isn't a bad tractor. I mean, it gets the job done. It's useful for a few jobs around the farm. Eventually, we'll outgrow its need, but for now, it's definitely going to be a useful tractor. We don't have to outgrow it. I mean, we can theoretically stay within its means. And the tedder and the rake will always be, and the forage, well, maybe the forage wagon, we might outgrow it there, but tedder and the rake will always be something that this thing can use. Even the low loader trailer, it could still be used for that. taking out pallets and moving them about. What we'll do is we'll pull off here and just go and jump into the bed. In fact, do we have any? Okay. Oh. 7 AM. Darker nights are coming. Yeah, I could have gone 6 o'clock, couldn't I? Oh. We've got to do something. Got you up. Been going 3/4 of an hour, and all we've done is pick up straw. Fun, huh? Cosplay will definitely have to become a thing, because we'll have so much work that we've got to do. Theoretically, like now. But I'm sure I've got it on 7 days per year. I have to double check. I'm sure it's on 7 days. And we're going to be doing silage bales. We can always hire a helper to sort this field out while we're busy doing other things, so that's not a big deal. Let's just double check. I'm sure it's 7 days. Sure, that was the idea behind the challenge. Wrong one. Further down, that one. Yeah, 7 days. I forgetting my own challenge. Like I said, it's been a while though. It has been a while. We're only on day 2 of September. We've still got plenty of time to get it all done. And if we look at the growth calendar, that is not the growth calendar. We've got until November to harvest grass, or to mow the grass and get it all in. Or not get it all in, but definitely mow it. So by the end of November, we've got plenty of time. No need to rush. Find out what our fields need doing to them, and we'll come in and do them. Do to them what they need doing, and hopefully get a better yield next year. We did get a go wheel, didn't we? I'm sure we got a go wheel on loan. No, yeah, we did. And the rollers on loan, okay. Because you don't start off with a field roller. I couldn't give you every single piece of equipment. Although theoretically I could have got rid of the stone picker and gave you a field roller. A lot of people turn stones off now. They've played that, got the t-shirt, wore it enough times to go, yeah, I'm done with that. Again, probably some people probably turn rolling off as well. I agree with stones being switched off. I'm not a big fan of that. I think there was a little too overdone this game. Don't know if you noticed, but there's no deer. I haven't seen a deer. And again, have you seen a bird flying off yet? Out of a field? There's no reindeer at all. I haven't seen any. I wonder why that is, huh? Message on a postcard if you can work it out. Good news is, in the next time that we come back, we will probably be sorting at least one of these fields out. I know one of the rules, wasn't it, that I could only lease equipment, and oh no, if I leased equipment, I had to keep it. Or was it that I could only lease equipment? I couldn't. No, I could buy off the used market, wasn't I? But if I wanted anything that wasn't on there, I had to lease it. I had to lease it for the whole year. Sure, that was the rule. And there is definitely something I would lease, which would mean that we get rid of one of our pieces of equipment to lease it. And that's because I'm not a big fan of traditional plows. Sorry for those who love ploughing, but you know, we'll play the game the way we want, and I'm not a big fan of the traditional plows. I would rather have the black sheep modding plow. No, I don't use many cheaty mods, but well, any cheaty mods apart from that one. That one's a definite. It's a must. And I know some people would say, well, by using mods, theoretically, aren't you cheating? Well, yes and no. Depends on which way you look at it. Does that mod do anything that would make it easier to do what the job that you were entailed on doing? No. because then you could claim that every DLC that comes out for the game is theoretically a cheaty mod because it's a DLC. And then what about if the mod was made by the authors of by Giants themselves, which we have had a lot of them at the beginning of this game? Are they cheating mods, or are they fine because they was released by the developers? You know, see my point? You know, a cheaty mod is completely different to a mod. Completely different. Modification of the game that makes it easier, that's cheating. Oh, it's our dog. And say, oh, a deer. But yeah, wrong colour. And too small. And didn't run away from us when we got near it. That would have been in the trigger there. There we go. So basically we have to be almost past it before the trigger comes up. Noted. Not really been paying any attention to that until now. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning now. And we're going to get... Pretty sure this will be the last load of straw to come out of there. So we've got quite a bit of straw off these fields. Tell you what I would like to see in the next Giants editor, or the next, well, Giants editor, and the way that we can make maps, the area that we can work within for detailing and that, to be a smaller grid. That would be nice. So you can fit a bit more, or be a bit more precise with your detailing. I think a lot of people would agree with that one. I remember in FS11, we, you know, in maps back then, you could only have 4 textures within each grid, and the grids was huge. I mean huge. And you could only have 4 textures, so you'd sparingly go around using your textures, and you couldn't do too much detailing. You'd try and design your map around where you wanted detail. What textures will be used in that area, that and they leave any free texture space for being able to add detailing. Like let's take Riverview for example. You've got the cliff faces, you've got the dirt roads, and then you've got the grass texture. Only left one more texture. What could you do with that one more texture? You know, mud to the, well, mud wasn't a thing then, but add mud to the, did we actually get all the straw out of there, or did I just come out of there and go, yeah, I'm done? We'll find out when we go in there and do something with the field. Mud wasn't a thing then, but if you had made a custom texture for the mud to put down the roads and in the gateways into the fields, and there's your 4th texture gone. What about if it's, you know, Riverview had got the lake. This doesn't go over this side, does it? Let's go around. I know we're going to need it again anyway. Yeah, we don't want to get hooked up on that, which I've done a few times. This belongs down the back. We put it in there. I think we'll put it in there. It was probably from there originally anyway. That'll do. Right. Put you away. We don't need you anymore. You see, I could get rid of that subsoiler and replace it with the Black Sheep modding plough. Would that would definitely help in some ways. I think we own all of the. Yeah, we do. So pH nitrogen is really bad in those fields, and not so good in these ones either. These ones are meh, but those are going to be really bad yields. Because of the driving over the fields to pick up the straw, which is adding to the cost because of fuel usage. You know, you have to take all of that into account. Crop rotation planner. No, we don't do anything there. Where's our? There you are, Voltra. Pretty sure mowing is there's something to mow. I'll be by now, right? We'll find out though. And if there is something ready, then we will mow it. Peep on looks like it's ready. So we could definitely mow this. And get it all ready for the sheep. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay any attention what it said at the bottom, if it said needed ploughing. Ready to harvest. Doesn't say anything about needing ploughing. Okay. Oh, it does there, needs ploughing. So we could potentially do that, replough it, and then reseed it in grass. And go from there. Oh, okay. all of our arable fields need ploughing. That ain't good. But at least we've only got 2 grass fields that need ploughing. Once we've done this and we've actually got sheep in here, we can't use this anymore. We can't mow the grass or anything here. So ideally, until I've got the amount of grass that we will need, or use the land to its fullest potential to help us prepare for everything coming in. Ideally, I don't want to put sheep in there. And we're in the wrong time of the year for sheep. Bringing in sheep towards the end of before spring would be more useful or more beneficial, because then we can get wool production going. So I don't think we'll be bringing any sheep in this side of the year. Whereas dairy cows, we could bring them in and have them. But again, I want to take advantage of this grass, which is also ready to harvest. Is all the grass ready to harvest then? It is. Thank you. So all of our grass fields are ready to go. Oh boy. Well, that's good news. What I didn't look at is how much in here. 164,000 straw. And yeah, not even a dent. I'm sure that holds like 10 million. So it holds a lot. It feeds, it can hold, the actual barn itself can hold 500,000 litres. So, yeah. It was done like that because you would never fill it if it was set to be able to hold the amount that basically it would be every game hour the robot would feed the cows. If you had the maximum amount of cows that you could have in there, you wouldn't have to worry, because as long as you've got the food in the robot feeder, in the robot mixing compartments, then you'd never notice the food dropping. But if you didn't, then your cows would only be fed for a day, or for 1 hour, sorry, 2 hours at max, and depending on the amount of cows that you've got at above a certain amount. So, yeah. Whereas the sheep pen, that holds quite a bit as well. And we won't be giving them grass, straight up cut grass. We'll be giving them hay, because, we won't be giving them until they're actually ready to be bought. And we won't be bringing them in until we've got an animal trailer to do so. Passenger. Quite a bit up for sale now. Yeah, you're not much use to us, even though it would be beneficial in some ways. You wouldn't replace our power horse Voltra. And 67,000 is a bit on the steep side. What is that? What are you? Oh, okay. For lumber. You always do sugarcane, you know. That's always an option. Just saying. Not that I will. Imagine doing sugarcane. And we haven't got the money anyway. And I'm pretty sure wasn't one of the stipulations that you had to be in debt. What am I looking for? Finances. Oh no. Oh, that was one of the stipulations. We do owe 47,000. No, we don't. That's how much we've lost this year. Oh, this month even. Risk. That was for the chickens, wasn't it? That's the only animals that we own at the moment. And they haven't reproduced yet. It's good news. Anyway, we will need to buy mineral feeding at some point, but that's a lot of money. 500,000 litres. And the robot feeder can hold 10 million litres of this. Obviously, we haven't got filled the robot feeder up because we're not running Maize Plus. So it's not a big deal. And we could technically fill the barn up with some hay, and then the robot feeder wouldn't use as much feed when feeding the robot. The robots feeding the cows definitely wouldn't be feeding robots. But I think I need to call it and go and get some sleep. It's been fun though. I've actually enjoyed this one. I think I'll have this come out sometime next week. Maybe I can get another video done and have this series again back on the agenda as a weekly thing. Or maybe it'll take priority and become more of a 3 times a week kind of dealio. We'll see. I don't know yet. I'm not going to jump to conclusions or put ideas out there. Interesting. Whatever happens, you know, might even do it as a live stream, one of occasionally. When we've caught up, do a live stream on one and then drop another. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. See you.